Have you ever felt you were being watched, or seen something unexplainable in the night sky, or heard stories of other people who have heard or seen something unexplainable? We are taking a journey through the world of strange aliens and UFOs. We'll explore accounts of people who have had unexplainable encounters and take a look at evidence that suggests that maybe, just maybe, we're not alone in the universe. We'll explore what could be out there beyond our own planet, venture into space, and see if perhaps we could encounter our own alien species one day. We'll look at sightings that could qualify as extraterrestrial visits, as well as theories and stories that have been compiled over the years all around the world about aliens and UFOs that could not be explained. We'll take a look at the events that have shaped our understanding of the possibilities of the universe. We'll talk to experts and those who experienced firsthand the bizarre, the unexplainable, and the incredible. We'll dive into a world that fascinates and captivates everyone, no matter their age or where they come from. So buckle your seatbelts, keep your arms and legs inside, and get ready for an amazing adventure into the unknown. Let's uncover the disturbing, the outrageous, and the captivating world of strange aliens and UFOs. The idea of aliens existing is something that has captivated humans and their imaginations for hundreds of years. Perhaps due to our ever-wondering nature, we are compelled to consider if there are creatures out there that are unlike us and their potential implications for our future and our understanding of the universe. We tend to imagine aliens as outsiders that look and act much like us, but the more we imagine them, the more we come to realize just how very different aliens must be from humans in nearly every way. First, let's start with some basics that make humans different from other species on Earth. Things like the number of limbs we possess, our posture, and our size and shape. While those specific features may vary from species to species, when it comes to aliens, those characteristics are almost certain to be different from anything we've ever seen on our home planet. Aliens may not have two legs, eyes on either side of their head, or even the same number of digits or bodily segments. We must also consider the possibility that their physical structure and physiology could be incredibly different from us, thus making it nearly impossible to know what their metabolisms, anatomy, and body functions are, or even how they interact with the environment. Further complicating things is the potential difference in alien cognition, which could be drastically higher than ours. This means that while we may understand things in terms of science, mathematics, and logic, aliens likely have their own set of concepts, ways of processing information, and language. It is highly likely that this language could be completely foreign to us, as well as their thoughts, ideas, emotions, and perceptions of reality. The possibilities of what aliens might be like in terms of their cognitive abilities is truly vast and open for exploration. making communication and understanding between us nearly impossible. Even if we were to assume that everything else aside from the physical and cognitive aspects of aliens is similar to humans, such as reproduction, parenting, and life cycle, we still must consider the amount of time they've had to evolve compared to us. Depending on when they first formed, this could be hundreds of millions or even billions of years earlier than when humans first emerged. This vast difference in timeline, along with the ever-evolving nature of the universe, almost certainly means that aliens have had much more time and opportunity to adapt to their environment. As we can see, humans and aliens would be very different from each other, with the potential that they could be alien in nearly every way, even when it comes to physical, mental, and even cultural aspects. We can only speculate what aliens may be like and how they may differ from us. But one thing is certain: the difference is immense, and the implications of this difference are both fascinating and thought-provoking. So what have we actually witnessed over time? Throughout history, visual sightings of UFOs and alien encounters have been reported by individuals from all walks of life. Even though not all of these reports have been confirmed as genuine alien encounters or UFO sightings, there is still a vast amount of documented evidence and accounts that indicate that something out of the ordinary and unexplainable is indeed happening throughout our skies. In fact, many UFO sightings have been reported for centuries, from drawings depicting mysterious flying crafts to more clinical accounts of alien encounters. Humans have been witnessing strange UFOs since the earliest. The ancient Sumerians have drawings depicting what appeared to be flying saucers and other phenomena that could not be explained at the time. In fact, one of the clearest visual representations that is attributed to the ancient Sumerians is known as the orphan bird. This drawing is believed to represent a spacecraft that is making its way across the sky. The ancient Egyptians have reported sightings of mysterious light orbs or fireballs that were said to impact the land and then disappear. Ancient Greek astronomers also recorded UFO-like sightings, and one of the earliest mentions of a possible alien sighting can be attributed to the Greek, who wrote about a brilliant shield hanging in the night sky. Medieval accounts of UFO sightings began gaining in popularity with the opening of the Dark Ages in Europe. A reported UFO sighting in the year 1290 was reported in France, in the area of Europe, where many kings needed to pass through in order to reach their respective kingdoms. It was reported that human-like creatures with aerial vehicles were seen flying across the sky, which have led some to believe that aliens were visiting the area at the time. In the year 1561, a UFO sighting was reported by citizens of Nuremberg, Germany. It is said that a large fleet of aerial objects filled with bright lights was seen in the sky, and that these objects fired off black, red, and blue smoke. Some witnesses reported seeing olive-shaped, circular objects that were illuminated by bright light and a blazing color. UFO sightings have gained more attention and credibility over the years, with more and more accounts of strange craft and humanoid creatures being reported. The earliest example of a modern UFO sighting is that of the Roswell incident in 1947. It is said that an unusual metallic object with unknown characteristics had crashed in Roswell, New Mexico. In 1952, a series of UFO sightings over Washington, D.C. gained national attention due to the high numbers of citizens that reportedly sighted strange objects in the sky. These mass UFO sightings heightened fears of a potential alien invasion and further gained the attention of authorities, spurring a long series of investigations into the matter. More recently, notable reports of UFO sightings and alien encounters have become even more frequent. In 2017, major media outlets began reporting strange phenomenon that occurred off the coast of Florida. A large cigar-shaped UFO was spotted by the passengers of a commercial airliner as it traveled along the continental shelf of the United States. In 2019, dozens of individuals reported witnessing a massive diamond-shaped object hovering in the sky for several minutes. For centuries, people around the world have been fascinated by the notion of extraterrestrial life. From UFOs to Area 51, aliens have been the subject of speculation and intrigue for generations. And while some people may remain skeptical of the reality of alien life, there's no denying that UFO sightings around the world have been steadily on the rise, with more people claiming to be eyewitnesses than ever before. The United States has been long known as a hotspot for UFO sightings, with reports of crafts and sightings of unexplained lights in the sky dating back to the 1940s. One of the most widely reported sightings was the Phoenix Lights incident, which took place in March 1997 and involved a number of strange lights seen moving over the city. UFO sightings in the U.S. have increased in recent years, with the National UFO Reporting Center reporting more than 6,000 sightings around the country in 2020. The U.S. government has taken action to investigate UFO sightings, with the Pentagon launching a secret program to investigate unidentified aerial phenomena across the country. The program aimed to have the U.S. Armed Forces investigate such sightings and to gather data to determine whether an extraterrestrial intelligence had come close to the Earth. UFO sightings in Europe have also been on the rise in recent years, with nearly 11,000 reported sightings across the continent in 2020. Sightings in Europe range from strange lights in the sky to actual physical shapes, and include many reports of strange and unexplained phenomena. Some of the most notable sightings have been reported over the UK, including a mysterious triangle-shaped craft seen hovering over the town of St. Albans in 2016. A bright orange light was seen in the city of Plymouth, and a number of UFO sightings reported over Scotland. In Germany, a large number of UFO sightings have been reported in recent years, particularly in rural areas. A UFO was even sighted over Berlin in 2020, with many people claiming to have watched the craft as it slowly moved over the city. Sightings in France have also been on the rise, with a number of strange aerial phenomena being reported over the country, including several cases of unknown objects that hovered over the country for extended periods of time. Whether there's an extraterrestrial intelligence out there is still a matter of debate. But with the number of UFO sightings continuing to rise, it's clear that the fascination over aliens and UFOs is not going away anytime soon. It's no surprise, then, that governments have taken an active role in investigating UFO sightings and encounters, though their involvement in such matters has been largely kept under wraps. When it comes to UFOs, governments appear open-minded at first glance. A 2018 statement by Pentagon spokesperson Dana White, for example, claims that the Department of Defense takes reports of incursions by unauthorized aircraft into our training ranges seriously and investigates each report. However, former Bear Stearns executive and author Mark Pilkington has suggested that this kind of openness may be more a product of public relations spin. It's a way of appeasing those in the public who want to believe in UFOs, he told The Guardian in 2009. In spite of its official openness to UFO sightings, the government has done little to confirm the existence of aliens, let alone their connection to UFOs. Much of the government's messaging around UFOs is centered on debunking the idea of extraterrestrial life as fantasy. In late 2011, the Central Intelligence Agency ran a story in their official newsletter titled "Searching for UFOs. Do reports about unidentified flying objects reveal anything about aliens?" In the article, the CIA argued that the concept of aliens was fundamentally flawed and debunked several prominent theories, prompting backlash from UFO enthusiasts. Not much is known about the government's behind-the-scenes operations related to aliens and UFOs. However, it is certain that the government has been active in tracking and investigating sightings for a long time. A WikiLeaks cable released in 2013 suggested that the United States government had been investigating UFO sightings in Mexico since at least the late 1950s. It also suggested that the United States was conducting its own research into extraterrestrial life on a classified basis. One of the most unpopular positions taken by UFO skeptics is that aliens may not be as benign as popular culture makes them out to be. Some researchers have warned of the potentially dangerous implications of alien encounters, such as the prospect of human-alien conflict or the use of advanced alien technology for nefarious purposes. In an article for The Atlantic, astrophysicist Adam Frank suggested that such research may not be unfounded. If extraterrestrial life does exist, we can assume it will have its own agenda, he wrote, and trying to predict what those aliens might want is a fool's errand. Even though the government has taken a largely skeptical stance on aliens and UFOs, it has also taken an active role in responding to reported sightings and investigating such encounters. Whether the government plans to disclose what it knows is an entirely different matter, but it likely has some plan for the potential dangers posed by extraterrestrial life. For now, the government's involvement in such matters is shrouded in secrecy, and the public can only speculate about the truth of aliens and UFOs. But there's more to aliens and UFOs than the standard image. What if the things that go bump in the night weren't what we thought? What if our deepest fears were the result of being abducted by bizarre aliens with even more bizarre enslavement techniques? That is what some speculate has been happening for centuries across many different countries. For years, people have been reporting mysterious and often terrifying stories of abduction and enslavement by alien entities. Although most people dismiss these claims as stories only found in Hollywood blockbusters, there are a lot of credible reports of alien abductions. To understand what sort of abductions are reported, one must first look at the most common types. The most well-known is the UFO abduction, where a person claims to have been taken aboard an unidentified flying object by extraterrestrials. These abductions often involve strange and often painful medical experiments, such as the implantation of small metal objects into the body. Other reported abductions involve medical exams, experimentation with mind control, and even contact with deceased relatives. These reports usually include abduction by a group of aliens from different species. The more bizarre alien abduction scenarios include claims of transportation to other worlds, time travel, and the appearance of ancient aliens. Some of the strangest alien abduction stories include those of people being abducted and forced to work as slaves of the alien species. Although most abduction tales are dismissed as nothing more than stories, there is some evidence that suggests something more is going on. Many abductees have reported symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder and often suffer from severe sleep disturbances after their abduction. In addition, some researchers have reported finding physical evidence of extraterrestrial origin on the bodies of abductees, including burn marks, strange scars, or implants. These implants may be evidence of genetic manipulation or manipulation of the memories of the abductee. Whatever the cause of these strange alien abductions may be, one thing is certain. Those who have gone through such an experience are rarely the same. The psychological effects of these encounters can be traumatic, leaving the victims feeling confused and scared. Despite the dangers and fear associated with the strange alien abductions, the fascination with the topic continues to draw in people. Those who study this phenomena provide fascinating theories that aim to explain the many stories that circulate about abduction. One popular theory is that alien abductions are a form of psychological warfare against humanity. Some believe that aliens are using abductions to influence humans through psychological stress and fear. Another popular theory is the ancient astronaut theory. This theory suggests that ancient aliens visited planet Earth in the distant past and were largely responsible for the development of human civilization. No matter what the actual cause of these events, one thing is certain. There are a large number of people who believe these abductions are a real phenomenon. Whether you believe in them or not, strange alien abductions remain a topic of both fascination and fear. One can only assume from the evidence we have that aliens indeed exist. As the evidence is growing and spanning the centuries with multiple reports of aliens visiting our planet and the plethora of species and starships coming to us from other planets. With this in mind, it is reasonable to assume there is a link between our planet Earth and the extraterrestrial world beyond our universe. A magical mystery portal that transcends the physical laws of nature as we know them on our planet. Taking this to the next level, let us assume and explore the possibility of an extra-dimensional pathway and an alternative universe linked to our own, enabling aliens to seemingly traverse the stars and galaxies, entering our earthly dimensions without us knowing any details. Time travel has been a fascination of ours for centuries. From visits of observers from the past to futures written centuries ago, the idea of time warping has always intrigued us. Despite there being no concrete evidence for its existence, time travel has been a popular concept in science fiction for many decades. But what if it wasn't just a concept found in science fiction? What if aliens actually used time travel to get to Earth? Today we know that space exploration is a different and dangerous task for Earthlings, with long hours spent traveling and radiation exposure just some of the challenges. For some species, this could be a different undertaking that takes months and years to complete. However, aliens may possess the technology to make long, intergalactic trips much easier by using time travel, and there is evidence it could be done. Time travel has been theorized by theoretical physicists for decades, with general relativity a central piece of the puzzle. It proposes that the speed of light is the maximum speed in the universe, and breaking that could give us the key to time travel. Aliens may have used this theory as the initial spark for their time travel formation. It's also possible that aliens have mastered the principles of time dilation, or the concept of time slowing down or speeding up in relation to outside forces. This could be used to make leaps of time, allowing aliens to essentially travel to the past or future with a few simple calculations. This could potentially increase travel speeds vastly by using this theory, minimizing the trip to seek out other forms of life. Assuming that aliens do come to Earth through time travel, it's not hard to imagine the advantage this would give them. By utilizing time travel, aliens could observe the human species in different time periods, in different situations, and in different places. This would give them an advantage as they could observe any changes or dangers that the Earth may have posed before making the trip. Time travel could also be useful for achieving numerous missions and goals. For example, aliens could observe changes in the Earth in relation to climate, political unrest, and many other factors. They could even theoretically time travel back to the past and observe the evolution of human species in a much larger way if they were doing some sort of research or study. In addition, this kind of technology could help save money on costly interstellar voyages. Instead of having to experience the physical hardship of trips across the galaxy, aliens could observe the Earth from the safety of their own homes. With the right calculations, they could simply time travel to any point in history and study the planet from the comfort of their own environs. As with many theoretical concepts, time travel remains a topic of contention in the scientific community, making it difficult to prove or disprove. However, its existence would make planetary exploration much easier and would offer aliens an advantage in studying the people and cultures of the Earth. It is certainly a topic worthy of further examination and will be interesting to see if the answers remain buried in the unknown realms of the universe or if they have made use of this fascinating technology. But what if there was a deeper reality, deeper even than time travel? Scientists have long suspected there is a gap between our everyday world and the world beyond our universe. This gap consists of an additional layer of reality, a sub-quantum space hidden from plain sight, in which energetic particles can slide through divisions of space-time. It is believed that this layer of existence could potentially open portals to different planets and galaxies, forming a cosmic bridge between our world and other worlds. This quantum bridge is what enables aliens to come to Earth through an unseen path without any of us being aware of it. When contemplating how the alien species would traverse this quantum dimension, one must first consider where we stand in terms of the basis of quantum mechanics. The universe is composed of incredibly tiny fundamental particles such as electrons and quarks. These particles can exist as either a wave or a particle depending on how we observe them. Furthermore, these particles obey the laws of quantum mechanics, which state that they are constantly interacting and communicating with each other. This means that these particles can exist in multiple places at the same time, making them incredibly unpredictable. When particles are in a superposition of states, they can exist in multiple places and traverse unknown dimensions without the need for physical movement. With this knowledge in mind, We can now consider how aliens would use this to their advantage to traverse the cosmos. When an alien species wants to travel through this quantum bridge, they must first create a tunnel between the particle layers located in different locations. This is done by manipulating the waveform of the particles to open and close the gate to an unknown universe. Once the tunnel is established, the alien's energetic frequency is then lowered to the point where they are able to connect with the quantum bridge. This connection allows them to exist in both our world and the mysterious quantum universe simultaneously. In order to gain entrance into the Earth's dimension, the alien species must then harmonize their energy with the environment of our planet. This is done through a process often called entanglement. Entanglement is when two particles become connected at a quantum level, even if they are separated by a large amount of physical space. This is how the alien species is able to connect to its energetic frequency with the environment on our planet. Once the alien species is tuned in to the environment of our planet, they can then use the portal to enter our world. This is a complex process that requires the development of intricate technology to manipulate the laws of quantum mechanics to such an extent that the alien species can create and pass through the tunnel. Once the alien species has created the tunnel, they are then able to travel through it and appear as if by magic in our world. The evidence of extra-dimensional travel is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. And it is no longer a matter of if, but how aliens are using other dimensions to come to Earth. It is becoming more and more apparent that there is a single point of origin from which all extraterrestrial beings are entering our world. We do not yet know the species of this portal, and the evidence of aliens is still considered a highly controversial topic. However, until we can scientifically prove or disprove this theory, we must remain open-minded and consider the possibility that aliens exist and are traveling through other dimensions to come to our world. Many theories have been developed to try to explain the mysterious sightings of aliens and UFOs, from hoaxes and misinterpretations of natural phenomena to extraterrestrial visitors. But as we have already seen, there are scientific explanations to show how they appear. But what other evidence is there, and what science do we need to understand it? First, we will consider the nature of the sightings. Most of the sightings reported in the past are of identical objects, usually flying over a short period of time before disappearing. Further, many witnesses claim that the objects had no visible exhaust and defied the laws of physics. All of this plays into the quantum bridge theory, or even time travel. Witnesses often report strange lights or beams accompanying the objects, leading some to hypothesize that objects are advanced technologies being used to observe us. While many sightings have been logged and recorded by credible sources, there is still no confirmed scientific evidence that any extraterrestrial beings exist. Some suggest that the presence of alien craft could be confirmed through scientific analysis of atmospheric disturbances or unusual sounds associated with the sightings. However, this is yet to be proved. In terms of documenting evidence of UFOs, there are a number of ways to analyze the data. First is through photographic and video analysis, usually done via digital imaging and computer analysis. This technique has been used to identify a number of UFOs, though the interpretation of the photographs and videos remains open to debate. Another way to analyze evidence of UFOs is via eyewitness accounts. These can be used to determine the direction of flight of the object, as well as its size and speed. Additionally, many eyewitnesses report strange lights, sounds, and shapes associated with the sightings, which can be cross-referenced with physical evidence. The analysis of this kind of data can be done using statistical methods and computer modeling. Though the study of UFOs is still a relatively new science, several organizations dedicated to researching unidentified flying objects actively have been established all over the world. These organizations often use satellite data and radar systems to look for unusual activity in the atmosphere. They also use spectral analysis to look for radiation and chemical signatures associated with alien craft. Finally, groups such as SETI, or the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, use radio telescopes to listen for signals from extraterrestrial life. However, while these groups have made invaluable contributions to the field of UFO research, they have yet to uncover or reveal any definitive answer to the question of UFOs. So let us take a look at some of the strangest sightings reported by witnesses, as well as their experiences in the aftermath of such an event, and try to remember the bizarre world of quantum mechanics and time travel whilst we do. One of the most extraordinary reports of UFO sightings comes from a man in Naperville, Illinois. In June of 2000, he saw what appeared to be an egg-shaped object that was floating silently in the sky and had a smooth metallic surface. The object appeared to have alternating pink and blue lights, and the man claims it was about 2,000 feet off the ground and had a wingspan of about 150 feet. It was reported that the object stayed in the sky for about 20 minutes before floating off in a northeasterly direction. Another bizarre story of a UFO encounter comes from a family in North Carolina. In 2003, a family reported seeing a large, dark, disc-shaped object hovering over their home on 3 separate occasions. On the third sighting, the disc suddenly emitted a bright light that beamed into the home and lit up the entire bedroom. The family was terrified and fled their home out of fear. In addition to these sightings, there are also cases of alien encounters. One incredible story of an alien encounter comes from a woman in Arizona who reported being abducted by extraterrestrials. She claims that she and the aliens had a conversation in which they told her about her life, past and future. She also said the aliens communicated telepathically and gave her a gift of an energy transmitter, which she used to heal herself and others. Although alien encounters are relatively rare, there have been some cases that have captured the attention of the public. One such case comes from a family in Kentucky. In 2008, they claimed to have seen several beings outside their home. The family described the beings as tall and otherworldly. They said the beings had large eyes and floated rather than walked. The family was shaken by the experience and said they had felt a strange energy in the air. The stories of these strange occurrences suggest that something truly unusual is happening in the skies, but it is still unclear what that something is. All of these experiences point towards a strange world of quantum physics. For many of those who have witnessed UFOs or experienced alien encounters, their lives have been turned upside down. These individuals often feel a deep sense of confusion, fear, and even wonder. While some may find it difficult to talk about their experiences, many feel compelled to share them with the hopes of finding answers to their puzzling questions. Aliens and UFOs have been the focus of mystery, fear, and fascination for a long time. With reports of mysterious sightings and unexplained phenomena, people around the world have found themselves questioning whether extraterrestrial life could be visiting us. Even more fascinating is the suggestion that some of these UFO sightings could be related to ghostly experiences encountered by some. Indeed, if so, it would be further evidence of some kind of quantum portal technology. The idea of a ghostly encounter being the result of alien or UFO activity is an exciting prospect to some and a terrifying one for others. Though there have been countless reports of people experiencing strange ghostly encounters, and many of these experiences have been linked to UFO or alien sightings, there have been very few scientific studies done on this phenomenon. However, this doesn't mean that there isn't more evidence out there waiting to be unearthed. The first case is from Arizona in 1987. According to reports, a woman and her daughter were driving through the desert when they suddenly noticed a strange hovering object in the sky. The woman described the object as a floating bright circle, and her daughter reported seeing a figure standing outside it. Thinking it was a UFO, the woman stopped the car, but then the object vanished. However, as the mother and daughter drove away, they reported seeing a ghostly figure walking alongside their car. The second case is from 1985 in England. A group of 5 children were playing in the field when they reported seeing a large black object hovering over them. When they looked up, they saw what appeared to be an alien inside the craft, along with a ghostly form that seemed to be communicating with the alien. The third case from 1989 in Texas involves a family who claimed to have seen a ghostly manifestation accompany a UFO. The witnesses reported feeling an overwhelming feeling of dread when they saw the object, and then they noticed the ghostly figure emerged from the craft. After the figure flew away, they experienced a feeling of relief that things would be all right. Finally, there is a case from Washington in 1988 which was reported by a man who saw a UFO and encountered a ghostly figure. He described the figure as a white shrouded form that suddenly appeared and began to float away. These are just a few cases, and all of them have some kind of strange other dimensional activity. But if these creatures have been visiting us, why have they not made contact? Well, many believe they have, and even involved themselves in our history. It is believed that several secret societies have even made contact and cover up their knowledge. For centuries, mysterious secret societies and unexplainable sightings of unidentified flying objects have fed our collective curiosity about the possibility of aliens from other planets. Even today, many of us are fascinated by the theories surrounding secret societies, UFOs, and extraterrestrial life. But is there really a link between secret societies and aliens or UFOs? First, let's look at what secret societies are. Generally, they are organizations that are formed for some purpose, often religious, political, or philosophical, and require the members to undergo a ritual initiation. Many secret societies date to the Middle Ages, and some, like the Freemasons and the Illuminati, are still in existence today. Although much information about these groups is shrouded in secrecy, it is believed they have had a major influence on the course of history. Many believe that the secret societies of the past had a connection to extraterrestrial beings, while others think the modern-day ones are still working with aliens. The most popular theory linking secret societies and UFOs is that the secretive organizations possess advanced technology and knowledge that help them communicate with aliens. Many believe that the secret societies are in contact with aliens and are using the knowledge they gain to better control the human race. Some even claim that the mysterious organizations have secrets hidden away in their vaults that could provide powerful enough evidence to prove alien life exists. There are also theories that suggest that secret societies have been chosen by aliens or higher powers to help usher in the New World Order. Some think that the elite members of these organizations have access to a great power source which they received from aliens. In this scenario, the secret societies are working with aliens in order to control and manipulate the world and its people. The truth can be a powerful thing, and even governments and secret organizations have been known to keep certain ideas and evidence hidden from the public. There's plenty of evidence that suggests that aliens and UFO activity is real and has been going on for decades. Yet the truth has been kept from the public for a variety of reasons. The first thing to consider is the potential implications on the public if the truth about alien and UFO activity and evidence were released. It would provide a seismic shock to many people and could potentially upset the balance of powers that currently exist in the world. It could also cause a huge shift in the way we think of our place in the universe and have irreparable impacts on the way that faith, religion, and belief systems shape our perspectives. For a government or organization to bear this burden of knowledge and the trust and confidence that comes with it would require a tremendous amount of courage. Furthermore, there's a cost factor. Governments and secret organizations are well aware of the costs associated with researching and protecting alien and UFO activity and evidence. In most cases, it's simply more cost-effective to attempt to cover up the truth than it is to take the steps necessary to tell it. Research costs money, personnel, and resources that simply aren't available to most governments and organizations. And of course, there's the practical reasons why governments and secret organizations would want to cover up evidence related to alien and UFO activity. Imagine the potential chaos and panic that would ensue if the public was suddenly made aware of an extraterrestrial reality. This could potentially lead to disruption of governments, economies, and even mass public anxiety and fear. It could even potentially lead to military engagement with alien spacecrafts and the possibility of a new arms race in space. For government officials, it is not necessarily a situation you want to find yourselves in, and so covering up the truth is sometimes the most appealing solution for them. But in the age of the internet and social media, the task of covering up alien and UFO evidence has become even more challenging. In the past, governments and secret organizations could rely on news outlets to play the role of gatekeepers and keep the truth from the public. But now, people are able to easily search for information and dig up truth on their own. It's becoming increasingly difficult to keep a lid on the truth, and so governments and secret organizations have had to become more creative when it comes to covering up evidence. One of the most common strategies employed by these organizations is the use of disinformation campaigns. This basically entails releasing false information and stories in order to confuse and muddle up the truth. It's a tactic that works surprisingly well, as it can successfully mislead the public and cause them to doubt the veracity of any alien and UFO sightings or evidence. Governments and secret organizations will often take advantage of this and try to cover up the truth. Another commonly used tactic is the use of secrecy laws. There are a variety of laws in place which allow these organizations to legally keep information about certain topics from the public. Although it's not always the most ethical way to go about things, it is an effective way of controlling the flow of sensitive information. Finally, governments and secret organizations will sometimes even resort to hostile measures when attempting to cover up evidence related to alien and UFO activity. This may include intimidating witnesses or even eliminating them in some cases. It's an extreme measure that's meant to be a last resort for these organizations, as it's extremely dangerous and obviously unethical. It's clear that there is more to the story of alien and UFO activity than meets the eye. Governments and secret organizations have a vested interest in keeping the public in the dark about the evidence that's out there, and their tactics for cover-up and disinformation make it extremely difficult to get to the truth. If the public were ever made aware of the truth, it would no doubt change the world in monumental ways. Until then, the possibility of aliens and their evidence remaining hidden remains a real possibility. For years, speculation and theories regarding the possibility of extraterrestrial life have been hotly debated within the scientific community and beyond. However, after decades of research and investigation, there can no longer be any doubt about the existence of aliens. We have reached a conclusion through our investigation that aliens do indeed exist, based on compelling and irrefutable evidence. The cornerstone of this conclusion is the numerous reports of UFO sightings throughout history, with many of these sightings confirmed by various branches of the military. These sightings have been backed up by reports from reliable witnesses and photographic and video evidence. Furthermore, the recent discovery of hundreds of UFO sightings reported by pilots and air traffic controllers further solidify our conclusion. In addition to these UFO sightings, our conclusion is also strongly supported by the evidence of alien contact. Abductees and witnesses from across multiple continents have reported being contacted by aliens, with some even claiming to have been taken aboard alien spacecraft. These reports of contact have been corroborated by multiple reliable sources and have been found to be highly credible. The reports of alien contact are further supported by the overwhelming amount of historical evidence. Numerous ancient artifacts and texts from around the world describe and depict alien-like figures, suggesting that the extraterrestrial beings may have been visiting our planet thousands of years ago. Furthermore, we know from studying current astronaut technology and quantum physics that interplanetary travel is now possible. Mankind has conducted extensive studies of the universe, and we now know that many other planetary systems exist in our galaxy. We also know that some of these systems are capable of supporting life, as revealed by our analysis of the habitable zones that exist in those systems. Combining all of this evidence together leads us to the undeniable conclusion that aliens do indeed exist in our universe, and that we need to bend our brains a little to understand the how, why, and when of it all.